Thick saliva drips onto the stone floor as the huge beast gets ready to attack. The three-headed Cerberus stands over Vikir and Granule, giving off purple energy. The system identifies the 7-meter-tall watchdog of hell as an A-rank threat, known for tearing apart souls trying to escape the underworld. Vikir stands calmly, holding his reward sack, while Granule grips his weapon in fear. Above them, the ugly floor guide Baguist makes fun of them. It asks if this difficult challenge finally makes things fair after Vikir killed the Hellhounds. Showing sharp teeth, Vargas happily announces that this is the final mission of the floor. The Cerberus roars with purple lightning, while the guide simply tells the students to survive. The monster's pressure is too much for Granule. His courage breaks. He drops his weapon and falls to his knees. Tears run down his face as he looks at the beast and cries that he cannot fight anymore. Vikir then lifts his sack of stat-boosting orbs and pours a handful of magical candies into his mouth. Granule is shocked. Vikir chews the hard orbs loudly, throws the empty sack aside, and walks forward to face the beast. Even Baguist is surprised by his fearlessness. It is strange for a cursed boy with weak physical stats to stand so confidently against such a powerful monster. After swallowing the orbs, Vikir casually says the candies still taste terrible. He remembers that people in the past could not eat them because of the bad taste, but now his body shines with a strong red aura as the stat boost takes effect. Knowing he is weak, Vikir says he needs this power to fight. He summons his red aura blade, the Beelzebub sword. A system window shows his updated status. He is still level 1 with the Sewer Rat Hunter title, but his strength, agility, and stamina are now greatly increased, making him ready for the boss fight. Vikir attacks first, swinging his red aura blade in a fiery arc. The strong strike hits the Cerberus, sending sparks flying across the courtyard. The beast is not affected and quickly lunges forward to bite him. Vikir blocks the bite with his blade and braces himself against a heavy paw attack. Granule watches in shock, unable to move. Even Baguist becomes silent as the level 1 student fights equally with an elite underworld beast. The Cerberus lifts its paw and gathers dark purple energy for a claw attack. Vikir quickly dodges, barely avoiding the sharp claws that tear through the air where he stood. Taking the chance, Vikir delivers a strong kick to the beast's middle head. The hit snaps its head back, making the Cerberus angry as purple lightning flashes around its teeth. Vikir suddenly realizes he has misjudged the monster's speed and strength. Before he can attack again, the Cerberus strikes back, throwing him into the broken stones. When the dust clears, Vikir is standing in the rubble, badly injured. A deep cut runs across his chest and stomach, soaking his torn clothes with blood. He coughs and spits out blood. Despite the pain, Vikir stares at the monster with determination. He realizes that this creature is stronger than expected. Comparing it to his past life, he understands a frightening truth. He has fought a Cerberus before, but this one comes from the deepest abyss, making it far bigger and more dangerous. To gain an advantage, Vikir kicks up dust to confuse the beast. Before it can react, he thrusts his blade upward. The red aura blade pierces through the monster's jaw and comes out of its skull. Catching it off guard, he twists the blade to deal more damage. Then he pulls it out and jumps back as dark blood sprays. Even with the injury, the Cerberus goes wild, its teeth crackling with purple lightning. Vikir prepares himself and decides he will not lose, even with the tower's curse on his body. With a powerful roar, the huge beast charges forward, tearing the ground apart. Vikir charges straight at it, aiming his glowing blade into its open mouth. They collide with great force, creating an explosion of red and purple energy that breaks the stone floor. From a distance, Granule watches helplessly and screams Vikir's name as dust covers everything. For a moment, only the glowing eyes of the Cerberus can be seen. Then its face goes still, and blood bursts from its neck as it falls. As the dust settles, Granule and Vargas stare in silence. A large pool of blood spreads across the courtyard. Vikir stands over the dead Cerberus, victorious. He knows a trial like this cannot stop him. The system reacts to his unbelievable achievement. It announces that level 1 warrior Vikir is the first to hunt the B-rank Hellhound pack and the A-rank Cerberus, giving him great and impressive rewards. Granule stands frozen, unable to understand how a weak archer killed the Guardian of Hell alone. Looking at the Cerberus, he realizes the truth. Vikir has been hiding his real strength all along. Floating near the body, Vargas speaks in shock. It nervously asks if Vikir really killed the Cerberus, saying it has never seen anything like this. Vikir ignores the panic and calmly asks for his reward. When Baguist acts confused, Vikir says that a monster of this level must drop something valuable. He warns the guide not to increase the difficulty without giving proper rewards. Frightened by Vikir's killing intent, Vargas quickly backs away. Realizing the danger, the fairy confirms that a reward is ready. It brings out metal containers filled with glowing orbs. Baguist explains that these are special rewards: red candies for strength, green for agility, and blue for health. Granule becomes excited when he sees the amount of rewards. He says that with these, they can become very strong quickly. But Vikir searches through the pile and finds what he wants: a single dark orb. The system identifies it as a black candy, a rare item that permanently increases physical resistance. Vikir knows this is extremely valuable because physical resistance is one of the rarest stats. Without hesitation, he eats it. A bright aura surrounds him as his wounds heal. The system announces that physical resistance is unlocked, giving him passive damage reduction. His status shows level 1, his old title, and a new title: Hell's Dog Breeder. Vikir feels satisfied. This rare stat is hard to gain in the real world, but now it will grow naturally with his other abilities. He still has 2 hidden attributes left to unlock. Granule then nervously asks if Vikir can share some candies since he helped collect the hellhounds. Before Vikir answers, Vargas happily offers a candy shop service. A glowing shop window appears. The fairy explains that candies can be bought and sold, and that 300 normal candies can be exchanged for 1 golden candy, which raises the user's level by 1. Vikir looks at the system and immediately understands the trap. The tower gives many candies to tempt people to level up quickly. If his goal was only to regain his old strength, leveling up would make sense. But from the memories of past heroes, he knows the tower favors weaker participants. When a weak person achieves something great, the rewards are much higher than when a strong person does the same thing. Thinking about future bosses, he understands the system's logic. Since he is level 1, the system will always see him as weak, no matter how strong he really is. By staying at level 1 and defeating strong enemies, he can keep getting the best rewards. So, he decides that leveling up is not part of his plan. Vikir refuses the offer and says they will trade later. Vargas accepts, though disappointed. Suddenly, the broken courtyard shakes and starts to collapse. The system announces that the mission on the 2nd floor is complete, with 69 survivors recorded. The system then announces that all remaining participants will be sent to the same place for the next trial. The ground suddenly breaks apart and Vikir, Granule, and the fairy fall into a spinning portal that pulls them deeper into the abyss tree. As they fall, Vikir's eyes shine with determination. The system confirms they have left and announces that they have arrived on the 3rd floor, in the 2nd section of the familiar land. Getting ready for the dangers ahead, the system updates Vikir's status. Along with his physical stats and new resistance, his title, Hell's Dog Breeder, is now fully active. This gives him a huge damage boost against K9 type monsters and increases how long his attacks affect enemies, making him even more deadly in battle. As they descend into the 2nd underground floor of the Abyss Tree's familiar land, the students arrive in a dark and empty place filled with broken buildings. The surviving students move forward slowly through the ruins. They are injured, covered in blood and bandages, and clearly exhausted from the deadly trials. While walking, a short-haired girl suddenly loses her balance and falls onto the rocky ground. Her blonde classmate quickly kneels beside her to check on her. The fallen girl weakly says that everything has become too hard to endure. She is shaking badly and complains about severe leg pain, hunger, thirst, and the freezing cold. Trying to encourage her, the blonde girl tells her to hold on and says they will soon find a safe place to rest. Helping her stand, she adds that at least they are no longer in immediate danger from monsters. She remembers how they barely escaped earlier and finds it strange that the pack of hellhounds suddenly ran away, unknowingly saving their lives. Lost in thought, she does not notice that the student walking in front of her suddenly stops. She bumps into him and angrily tells him to move, but he does not respond. Instead, he stands there trembling, unable to speak. Frozen in fear, He stares at a huge, horrifying plant towering over the ruins. It has a massive petal-like head with a wide mouth full of sharp teeth, surrounded by thick, dark vines that move slowly. Its twisted roots spread across the ground. One student wonders if it is just a dried-up flower, but its mouth makes it look like the corpse of a monster. Despite how scary it looks, another student carefully points out that the thick roots are giving off a warm feeling. Hearing this, the freezing students quickly gather around it. The blonde girl suggests they use the soft, warm roots like pillows to rest. Relieved by the warmth, the tired students lean against the plant, believing it to be dead. At that moment, Vikir arrives. He immediately understands the danger and urgently tells everyone to move away from the vines. He warns them that the plant is a very dangerous monster and tells them to stay back. Before anyone can listen, a boy steps forward with a mocking smile. He claims the plant is clearly dead and makes fun of Vikir for causing panic. Laughing cruelly, the bully says Vikir has only survived by being a coward and tells him to get lost. As Granule is about to speak, the gray-haired bully grabs his shoulder. Granule glares at him and his companion, the same classmates who had used him as bait earlier to save themselves. The bully pretends to be surprised that Granule is still alive, but Granule is filled with anger. Seeing Granule's clenched fists, the bullies mock him, saying he finally has some courage. Through clenched teeth, Granule listens as they casually ignore their betrayal and even claim that he survived because of them. Unable to take it anymore, Granule snaps. He grabs the gray-haired bully by the collar and shouts at him for making excuses after everything they did. The bully stays calm and says Granule still does not understand how things work in this place. With a quick move, the bully throws Granule over his shoulder and slams him onto the ground. As Granule struggles to breathe, the bullies stand over him. The gray-haired student explains coldly that outside the tower, status and wealth matter, but inside, only strength counts. He then points out Granule's hypocrisy, reminding him that he had originally approached them just to use them as followers. He warns Granule not to cross them again and tells him to stay there and cool off. The bullies walk away confidently, leaving Granule lying on the ground. Other students nearby whisper and mock Granule, saying he deserves this humiliation now that he has lost his advantages. Later, walking alone through a ruined alley, Granule trembles with anger and shame. Holding his injured arm, he swears that once he escapes this place, he will use his family's power to destroy the bullies and their entire bloodlines. But the bullies' words keep echoing in his mind, reminding him that he also had selfish intentions during the Hellhound attack. Clenching his fist, Granule admits that they were not completely wrong about him. Suddenly, he smells something delicious. The rich scent makes his mouth water, and he wonders how such food could exist in this empty place. Following the smell, he reaches a broken building where warm light and the smell of cooked food come from inside. Driven by hunger, Granule runs in and begs whoever is cooking to share the food. But he stops mid-sentence when he sees Vikir sitting calmly by a fire, roasting large pieces of meat. After some time, Granule leans against a wall, completely full and satisfied. He admits that he never thought roasted sewer rat could taste so good. Curious, he asks how Vikir brought cooking tools into the tower and wonders if he has some kind of magic storage. Vikir looks at him but says nothing, keeping his secret hidden. His special artifact, a sacred ring, still works in storage mode, even though its defensive barrier is turned off. The ring, marked with the words, "The realm of God ends here," allows him to store and access supplies easily. Feeling uneasy, Granule wonders what kind of person Vikir really is. He remembers how Vikir killed 100 hellhounds alone and defeated a powerful A+ rank Cerberus in close combat. Although he wants to ask more, his instincts warn him not to dig too deeply. Instead, he asks why Vikir is being kind to him, especially since he used to look down on him at the academy. Vikir answers simply that Granule has shown himself to be a better person than expected, and that is the only reason. Hearing this, Granule is overwhelmed. His eyes fill with tears, but he quickly rubs them and blames the smoke from the fire. He then orders Vikir to fan the smoke away, trying to hide his emotions. Changing the topic, he asks why Vikir warned everyone about the giant flower. Vikir's face becomes serious, and he says Granule will soon understand. At the same time, near the giant plant, a student walks alone through the thick vines carrying firewood. As he moves, he accidentally scratches his arm, and a drop of blood falls onto one of the root. The moment the blood touches it, the root suddenly twitches and absorbs it. The plant's veins begin to glow with a dark red light. Unaware of the danger, the student keeps walking as the vines slowly rise like giant tentacles. Feeling something behind him, he turns around, and freezes in terror as he realizes the plant is alive. A loud, horrifying scream echoes across the ruins. Back at the campfire, Granule jumps in shock, while Vikir calmly looks over his shoulder and says that the plant has finally awakened.